Need to figure out where this exhaust leak is coming from. Just trying to get this heat shield off. As you can see, it's pretty rusted, so hopefully I can get all these bolts out. Currently have this bolt stuck into the socket here. We got the rusty bolt out. Try for some other ones here. Just kind of going around and loosening all the bolts up. This should be the last bolt, but I'm also getting hung up on the O2 sensor. God, these things just are disintegrating. Deterioration. Corrosion. Okay, well, we got it hanging now. No sign of exhaust leak over here. Pretty sure I'm gonna have to remove the O2 sensor to get this heat shield off. So I just removed a couple clips from my fender liner. You can see it's a little trap door to the O2 sensor right there. Hopefully I can fit my O2 sensor socket on there and get that baby loosened up. Hello. Alright, here's where I'm at. I got some access to the O2. What just fell on me? A little clip of some sort. Just put that to the side. My O2 sensor socket seems to fit on there. Slide that baby right into here, right on there. But I'm afraid that this is not gonna come off easy. It's not the tightest fit. I'm pretty sure I got the right size, but yeah, I'm gonna attempt to get this O2 sensor off. That way we can get this heat shield off. And if I can't get the O2 sensor loosened, I might just have to cut out the old grinding wheel and chop this thing off in pieces. But hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Let's give it a shot and see if this will break free. All right, we're gonna need to hit this baby. Make sure you're square on it. Can't really get a good hit on it. Struggle is real out here. Definitely not fun. Maybe? I don't know. Let's take a closer look, see where we're at. Okay, well apparently I did break it free successfully. We are free, we are moving. Getting good stuff all up in her mouth. Alright, let's see if it'll come out. Definitely going to be using some anti-seize before we reinstall this bad boy. It actually wasn't that hard to get off, I was surprised. Okay, here we are, back at the O2 sensor. Eventually got it all the way off here. I just kind of twisted the wire as I was unscrewing it. I thought I was going to have to redo or undo the whole cord all the way up to the top where it connects. But the wire has enough give in it where it will just kind of twist around without screwing anything up. So let's pull this thing out, see what we got. My oh my, she's burnt. She's real crispy in there. And that thing is toasted. Surprised this thing still works. Maybe it doesn't work. It's probably just disabled in the check engine light codes. Let's pull out that last bolt and get this thing off. Okay. Ta-da! Victory is ours. Victory is mine. Alright, now we can address some rusty gross stuff. Would be nice to get a new header on this bad boy. That'll never happen. My concern is I have an exhaust leak in my Uppipe, so hopefully I'll be able to see a little bit better. So yeah, we're gonna do some further inspecting and see what we can come up with here. Okay, so we just had a breakthrough for our exhaust leak, and I found it, and it appears to be coming from the Uppipe. Let's take a look. Under the car, obviously, got the downpipe. Kind of looks like some residue coming right from there, maybe right at the gasket or something. But the bulk of it looks like it's coming from the Uppipe flange. You can see it's already been re-welded. I've never noticed that before. So yeah, we definitely have an exhaust leak right at the Uppipe. And possibly back there. I can't really see very well, but that's not good. I guess the only good news about this is I have an extra Uppipe that I've had for years and years and years. Back when I bought my first exhaust system for this car, it actually came with an Uppipe. I never did install it just because I knew that this year Subaru didn't come with the catalytic converter in the Uppipe. So I knew I wasn't having any restrictions there. So I didn't even bother replacing it. So I guess it ended up working out in the end, you know, 6+ years later. But yeah, we have an extra Uppipe, and I think this is the time to use it. Some more bad news. I believe the Uppipe is going to be in the bottom tote. We got some work to do. We got to dig this thing out. Well, I think I just got lucky because I thought it was in the bottom one. It looks like it's in the second to bottom one. Just peeked in there. Boom, there it is. It's like it was meant to be. Come on, baby. Boom. The welds are actually pretty decent on this. This is a cheap eBay Uppipe that I got. I think it was DNA motoring. Hopefully this flex pipe is trustworthy and it won't have any leaks through it. Okay, gonna have to figure out how to put on an Uppipe now. So here we are under the car. I have all the bolts sprayed with PB Blaster. and we're going to attempt to get the bottom part of the up pipe free, or broke free. I'm going to attempt to do this without removing the manifold. I heard it is possible. It's just going to be very tight when you're trying to slide out the up pipe here. We're going to give it a crank and see if it'll break loose for us. Let's cross our fingers. It looks pretty rusty. Both the nut and the bolt are going to be 14mm. So let's get on both sides, kind of like the downpipe, and see if this thing will break free. Let's try and do this without stripping or shearing anything off. Hopefully we'll have some luck. Okay, let's go for this 14mm bolt here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Over here. So I'm going to try the nut side first. Try to get yourself a breaker bar. Okay, great success there. One broke free. And we got another one hiding up there. Let's see what happens here. I think we got lucky. We have movement, we have movement. I just had to squeeze up in here to get this nut free. And then I'm gonna have to put a wrench on the inside as well, because it's a nut and bolt combo. Work it out, slowly but surely. Not much leverage, but just ease it out. Okay, now can my hand do it now? Okay, so the nut first. There she is, all nice and rusted. That came off a little easier than expected, which is always a good thing. Wiggle, wiggle, shake, shake, and gasket's not too bad looking. The hardware is out for the bottom portion of the up pipe, so let's move to the top and start loosening up those downpipe bolts. Whew, thank God for PB Blaster. Link in description. Same goes for the top bolts, 14mm all the way around. I've done this many times, made many videos, so I'm just gonna crank this out and move on. Thankfully, the last time I did this, or every time I do it, I put anti-seize on the bolts, on the threads. It really is a time saver and a lifesaver. 2 nut and bolts and 3 nuts total for the downpipe. So that's all loose and looking good. Yeah, we gotta get it off the studs now. Before it'll come off the studs, you gotta make sure that you remove this. You gotta remove the nut and bolt that hold the downpipe to this bracket, and it should come right off. Should be a 12mm bolt holding this bracket on. I have a nut and bolt combo. Yours may be different, but be sure to remove whatever you have holding on this portion of the downpipe, and that way it'll be free of the studs coming off the turbo. Yeah. I gotta get it free from the bracket itself. It's kind of just stuck on there. 1 second. There we go, that should be plenty now. I'm gonna remove the gasket. Ooh, got a little bit of a leak there. This is a reusable gasket, but obviously it's not working very well. Now we can get to those bolts holding on the up pipe. Alright, looks like 5 nuts total holding on the up pipe. So we got 1 here, 1 there. This was a heat shield, I believe, back in the day. So that would be your 3rd nut. And then you have 4 and 5 around the corner over here. So let's loosen those up and see what happens. 14mm. I'm using that Big Daddy extension just to give me some leverage over here. Seems to be the way to go here. Well, you guys have been missing out, let me tell you that. I've been having lots of fun without you. Let me update you on what's been going on. So for the past maybe 2 hours, realistically 2 hours, I've been trying to get the upper bolts or upper nuts to the up pipe loosened, broken free. I've been soaking the nuts in PB Blaster. I've been banging on them, trying to shock them loose, trying to just get any movement out of these nuts, and I was having issues. The first nut I tried to get off came off like nothing. Came off like a charm. The next one, not so much. I ended up stripping the second one I tried to get off. Currently it's still on there stripped. I'm going to the store tomorrow to get a stripped hex nut socket, and hopefully that's going to save the day. But I just ended up getting the other 2 nuts loose, and I'll show you exactly how I did it. Okay, so we busted out the long breaker bar here, 1/2-inch breaker bar. We also have our leverage bar here. This is actually from my jack. Fits nicely right over the breaker bar or ratchet, whatever you're trying to break loose. So we also have a big old extension here. I'm using the long boy here. I'm not sure how long that is, like 10-12 inches or so. So that is definitely a must to get these nuts off. The first one came off with no struggle, which is the one that's right here. It's also the easiest one to get to. Now the one I had issues with is going to be right into this area, if you guys can see down there. Right where the socket's on right there. That's the current stripped bolt that I'm dealing with. It's a little chewed up. I do have confidence that we're going to get that off. And then the last 2 are going to be right on this side. Those ones took a while to get loose. Thankfully I took my time. I kept soaking them in PB Blaster. I used a lot of friction tactics to kind of bang with a hammer, and I just tried to loosen it any way I could. So I finally got it with this huge extension, deep 14mm socket, and yeah, got it on there, got into position, put the breaker bar right here over this part. I guess there was enough torque to get it loose, so thankful for that. Finally had a breakthrough, pun intended, so I guess we have to wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna stop trying to get that strip nut off. I probably will just damage it further. I was going in on the corner there, trying to just tap it, trying to break it free, but I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead, and I'm gonna get the right tool tomorrow. So I guess we'll pick up this video in the morning. See you then. It's the next day, next morning, and we're gonna continue on this journey of removing my up pipe. Made a quick stop at the store this morning, and I got myself a set of these. This is the OEMTOOLS spiral bolt extractor set. It does anything from 3/8 all the way to 5/8, and a couple different metric sizes as well. So I'm hoping this will save the day. Also got my motivation to continue working. Got 2 cold brew coffees. Just because you can't get it in a large, I'll get 2 mediums. Gotta outsmart the systems. It's kind of a cool design right here. However it works, a little spiral design. I guess all you gotta do is put the lefty-loosey torque on it, and it should just loosen the nut right off. So let's see, this is my first time using something like this. So let's see if it really works. It's gotta work. It's gotta work. Okay, we got our long breaker bar. Let's get our leverage bar back out. Ah, shit. I think we got it. I think we got the satisfaction. Yes, we got it! Hell yeah. See it spinning. Oh man, this is a victory. This is a big victory. Now we can use this bad boy. Uh-oh. My cheap ratchet. Oh no. I might be out of batteries. Ow. Doesn't have much torque. I don't want to burn it up. Alright. Manual labor coming up. Oh. There it is. The old beat up nut. I guess I better find me an extra one of these. Glad to have it off. Let's move on. Let's back off the nut, holding on the last stud from the top, and then we're going to go down to the bottom and try and wiggle this baby out. Now we somehow got to get it out without removing the manifold. I hear it's possible, but I may need to jack up my motor slightly to get it through. Let's see what we have to do. Gotta love the Harbor Freight jack that comes with the built-in leverage bar. It's pretty handy. Alright, in order to get this up pipe out, I'm gonna have to loosen either 1 or 2 of my motor mounts. That way I can jack the motor up just a bit to get the clearance that I need. Okay, we're going after our first motor mount here. We're gonna loosen up this nut, it's 14mm. Just gonna get it loose, and then I'm gonna move on to the other side, loosen up that one, and hopefully we can get enough movement out of the motor to slide this up pipe out. Had to bust out the big leverage long breaker bar, but it did snap free for me, thankfully. Let's go to the other side, get that one broke free. Okay, we got this other side here, right there. Gonna break that nut free. There we go. Snap, crackle, pop. Cool. I'm not gonna take it all the way off yet, unless I need to get the clearance. I'll leave a couple threads on. I just want to be sure that I'm jacking on the motor itself, or on the oil pan itself, and not this cross member. Had to find myself a smaller block. Wasn't quite lining up right. Trying to get it nice and square over the oil pan here. I just want to be careful. I'm not going to just bust anything off. Bust any hoses or put any strain on something I'm not supposed to be. So I'm going slow at it. Well, I ended up removing both the nuts holding on the motor mounts just to get some more clearance. We're almost there. Almost wiggle this baby out. We have a little bit more to go, so let's keep on jacking it up. Let's see if we can wiggle this baby out now. So close. Hopefully the new one will go in easier. I think it will because it's less bulky. There's no heat shield on it. Oh, god damn, we're close. We are close, boys. Alright, we have success. We have slid out, well, at least we have the flange free and past the point. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go, here we go. It is possible. Come on, we're so close. A little bit of wiggle, a little bit of shake. A little bit of persuasion. A little finagle, a little finesse. And she's out. Victory is ours. Alright, let's take a look at this piece of shit. Useless piece of junk. You just see how many times it's been welded. This thing has just seen better days for sure. Good news is there's no cat in this one, so I won't have to be putting it back on when it comes to smog time. Let's go compare it to our nice new one. So this one should just slide in without any problems. I'm hoping, I'm really hoping so. I want to get this done. I wonder if my car will sound any different after this. Probably not. I guess in a way it will because it won't have an exhaust leak anymore. Motivation's running high, let's continue. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. A little bit of dirt in my nose. Upon further diagnosing here, this is definitely 100%, 150 million % not going to work. The wrong design, the wrong everything. Everything is wrong with this Uppipe. For good reason. It's a cheap one. It was a gamble. I technically didn't even order it. It came with my first exhaust system that I bought with the car, and they just happened to have that in the box. I'm like, oh cool, Uppipe, right on, I'll use that one day. Well, the day is here, and I'm saying screw you. Not only is it longer than the stock OEM one, the flanges don't even line up. Like I went like this to try to see what alignment there was. This is so off. Look at that. Somebody failed their geometry class or engineering class or something. Here's another impromptu upgrade. I'm gonna have to order me a new Uppipe. God, this sucks. All that work just to find out that my Uppipe that I've had for 6+ years is not gonna work with my setup. Live and learn, I guess. Alright, we'll see you guys soon. I ended up lifting my engine all the way off of the studs for the motor mounts. And now I'm just trying to lower it back down while I wait for the part to come. So I'm trying to line it up back into the slot where it came out of. This is the slot where the studs are supposed to come through. And you can see that it's a little off. It's actually a lot off. So what you can do, or what I've discovered that I can do, is you can actually pry right here on the motor mount on the other side. Just make sure the engine weight isn't on the stud itself. Just about have it lined up. Use the double action. Get some more leverage on it like this. This is my leverage that I'm using. Right there, got the double crowbar action. Stud is lining up. Slowly lower it with my right hand on the jack. There we go. That's all I wanted. I'll put the nut on this one and go and see if the other one will align for me. Like I said, I just didn't want the motor under stress, so I decided to lower the motor back until I can get the Uppipe, and I'll probably just jack it up once more. Whew, fun stuff. Sunday fun day for me. Alright guys, we're back. It's been a couple days and we have our new Uppipe. Let's check it out. I went with the NVIDIA Uppipe just because my whole exhaust system is also NVIDIA. NVIDIA is pretty good quality for the price. This is how it comes exactly right here. We've got some studs. We also got the plug to plug the hole because my year Subaru doesn't require an EGT. That's just the exhaust gas temperature sensor. I guess it came in the O2s and O3s, maybe O4, O5. But they went away with the catalytic converter on the 06, 07, so I'm not sure. This is just a universal part, I guess. So very good quality welds, much better than my eBay one that I have. Of course, get what you pay for. Check out those welds. Damn, the flanges are pretty thick. At least this one is, the one that goes to the bottom of the turbo. Pretty simple design, and that's that. Cool. Let's get this thing installed. So we got OEM, eBay, and the real deal. So which one would you choose? Just keep in mind that the NVIDIA only comes with studs and the bung plug. So I went ahead and purchased quite a bit of gaskets. These ones I won't use because I didn't end up taking off the exhaust manifold. This is the downpipe gasket. I'll be using this one. This is going to be the bottom gasket for the Uppipe, right there. And this is going to be the top gasket for the Uppipe, the one that goes right to the turbo. I'll be sure to link everything in the description if you guys are interested and want to pick up some gaskets. I ordered these ones online, genuine Subaru parts here, and this one was actually from AutoZone. They do have it available at AutoZone or your local parts store, usually. So I ended up picking up some hardware. Pretty much all the nuts for my downpipe and my Uppipe I can replace if I wanted. I figured just get some new hardware while I was at it. M10 by 1.25, 40 millimeters long. This is going to be the bolt. And then the nuts I picked up are going to be M10 by 1.25. They should work perfectly. We'll see. If not, I'll just reuse my old hardware, no problem. Well, I think I screwed up. For some reason, my M10 by 1.25 nuts are actually like a 15 millimeter. So I failed to actually reference the hex size when I was buying these, because I want to stick with the 14 millimeter size. But I may just run them just for the time being, because I'll be swapping my exhaust come June. I need to actually set the studs into my new Uppipe. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to use the double nut method. I'm not quite sure what other methods there are, but this is the only method I know and the only method that works for me. So we got our nice studs that came with the Uppipe right here, probably heat resistant, all that good stuff. So I'm actually going to use a little dab of some Never-Seez. This stuff is a lifesaver. It'll prevent corrosion and it'll prevent you from hating your life when it comes to taking off the nuts and bolts. I use this pretty much every time. Very good stuff. You don't need a lot of it. A little bit goes a long way. Just the first couple threads is all you really need. We got that in there. I'm just going to use some of these other nuts that came with my old eBay Uppipe, just because it's 14mm and I won't have to go look for a 15 at the moment. So, whoops, to go this way. Let's see if we can get this tight here. So it's actually spinning the stud. If you guys can see that, it's spinning the stud. And then we will see if we can get any cranks out of it. So the nut's actually spinning now with the lock nut. I don't think it needs to be crazy tight, just set in place nicely, because this thing's going to be cranked down to about 27 foot-pounds, so really not that much. So we just want to make sure they're somewhat snug. Just going to finish installing these studs and we'll be moving on. The studs are in. Before I continue, I just want to be sure you guys know what part numbers the gaskets are. This is the gasket for the bottom portion of the Uppipe. So this is the Subaru's part number right here for this style gasket. And we have the gasket for the inlet at the bottom of the turbo, top of the Uppipe. There's the part number for that one. Alright, time to get under the car now. Well guys, I wasn't joking when I said I had an oil leak. This is from my car sitting since Sunday. Today's Wednesday. I got a good drippage going on. It's definitely been dripping while I've been gone. Obviously, something else to address at some point. Right at the oil cooler gasket area, right there's a little drip ready to go. Yep, I will address that as soon as I'm able. One thing at a time. I already went ahead and put some anti-seize on the studs. That way I won't have to worry about it later. Hopefully it's a good idea. I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually put your gasket on now. That way you won't have to fish it on later. And I'm afraid that I won't have any wiggle room because I didn't remove my exhaust manifold. So I'm going to slip it on now and hopefully I won't regret it. Stay tuned and find out. Alright, let's see. This baby's going to be a problem. I know it. I already knows it. If I want to do it without getting it nasty. I'm going to start jacking it just a little bit and see if I can get by. Got to be strategic with it. Definitely need more clearance, but I'm just trying. Just trying to wiggle it in, but you know, might as well try. It doesn't hurt to try. Okay, we're past the flange now. Now, will it line up? I'm just going to have to feel for it here. Hopefully you guys can see how close I am. So I'm going to try to get it with my left hand and try to finagle it into the holes and maybe get a nut started, and that'll secure it. Okay, I'm just reaching around with my left hand. I managed to get the studs all lined up with the holes. I'm going to try to start a nut now. Whew, okay, that was kind of tough. I had to come in with my right hand. I did end up getting a nut started on that stud right there. Thankfully, it's working out. I can't believe it. This is awesome. So I'm cheating and I used a little tape trick to keep the nut from falling out of the socket. One by one, getting the nuts on. Sure does feel good to have some new hardware installed. Now I'm gonna go down to the bottom and check the alignment on the bottom flange. It's gonna be tight, guys. It's gonna be tight. Barely enough. Is it enough? What's going on here? What's going on here? No big deal. I just had to loosen up the nuts up top to get some wiggling. Again, I used some anti-seize on the bolt as well. Surprised how easy this thing slid through and the motor's not even lifted up that far. I'm not sure when I'm talking to you. Forget which way I actually took this off. I'm not quite sure. Does it matter? I don't know. Alright, we're just going to switch this around. Either way, I mean, it'll tighten it down, but just think of it this way. The Uppipe flange gets the nut. Okay, let's get the other one started here. This other one might be a little tough just because of the location, but I think we can manage. Can't really see much, but you're just gonna have to feel around for it and get the nut started. It's easier to sneak around to that little hole that you accessed for your O2 sensor. It's an easy way to get to the nut. Now I'm just gonna loosely put these on because we have to lower the motor still, and I don't want anything to bind up when we lower it. So I'm just gonna keep it how it is and lower back the motor. Perfecto. Keep in mind I do have the other nut on the other motor mount just to prevent it from coming out of the slot when I was lifting it up. So it's easier to actually just put one nut on one side. That way you're stuck with only aligning one of the studs. But I seem to have gotten lucky here. This wasn't the case earlier, as you guys saw. Alright, perfect. We got the engine back down. Everything looks aligned. We're going to tighten down both sides and we'll move on to tightening down our hardware. Motor mount nuts get torqued down to 62.7, so I'm going to give it 63 for good luck. Very proud of myself for using the torque wrench. Alright, we're in good shape. We're going to move on to tightening up the bolts to the up pipe. We're going to start at the bottom, the part that connects to the exhaust manifold. We're going to torque those down to 26 foot-pounds, give or take. Make sure your alignment is looking prime. There it is, 26 foot-pounds. Just got a guess on this one just because my torque wrench won't fit. So, oh yeah, 26 foot-pounds right there. Alright, let's get a closer look at the nice newly mounted up pipe. Gasket's nice and compressed. Everything looks aligned on all sides. Now it's time to work our way up to the studs and the nuts. We're just going to evenly tighten all of these nuts up top first. Then we'll go back and torque them all down. I should be able to get my torque wrench on all of these up here. So I have it set to 26 foot-pounds. This is a pretty awesome torque wrench. So let's crank these babies down. There it is. Making sure our gasket is going to be seated nicely in there. Very important mating surfaces here. Whoops. There it is. 26 foot-pounds, guys. There we have it, folks. We're all torqued down. Up pipe's all good to go. Next, we're going to work on the downpipe. Just got my good old brand new gasket right here. Say goodbye to any exhaust leak I once had. We're going to throw our gasket on the studs and hopefully fish our downpipe right back where it came from. And we'll be wrapping up this job. Whew, that's never easy. It's never easy, but I tend to do it every time. It eventually works out in the end, but I got the downpipe up and in position onto the studs. Did a little cheater move. Not really cheater, but I have the jack under my car, kind of supporting the exhaust while I get it mounted to the turbo. We're going to add a little bit of anti-seize to the threads of the O2 sensor. Make it nice and happy the next time we take this off. Oops, you're not supposed to get it on the O2 sensor. That could cause for a false reading. So we're just going to give that courtesy wipe real quick. Only the threads, really. Actually wind her up a little bit here. You'll be unwinding as we screw her in. Give her a couple cranks. Wire's still intact. Okay, we're good to go. O2 sensor's in. We got our little flappy door back in action. And yeah, I think we're going to clear out the underside of the car. Hopefully there aren't any exhaust leaks, because I'd about would shoot myself. A little smoky, but so far so good. It's everything just burning off, all the PB blaster and grease and whatnot. Nice little oil spill there. It's really leaking out. I really gotta fix that oil leak sooner than later. Something's going on. Houston, we have a problem. Car's leaking oil like a sieve over here. I don't know what happened. Shit. I gotta pull this thing back in the garage. Get a drip pan under it. Gotta diagnose what the hell I did. Oh shit. Oh man, well, so much for the test drive. I guess that's gonna have to wait. I gotta pinpoint where this oil leak's coming from. I'm really hoping it's just a line that slipped off of a nipple or something. Quick and easy fix. I'm hoping. Okay, time to start diagnosing what possibly could have gone wrong. I guess there's only one way to really find out, and that's to start the car and check for leaks. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, there it is. Quick look, there it is right there. It was seeping out of the oil feed line, I believe, right on top. Try and prevent this from dripping onto the ground. That is very good news because I can access that no problem. Woo! Alright, we're making breakthroughs here. So the oil feed line is going to be a 14mm. And I actually got a nice, maybe half a turn out of it. It's almost like it wasn't cranked down all the way. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but we're going to give it another start up and maybe that'll fix the problem. I'm sure I'll need a new crush washer to get this fixed right, but we're going to give it a chance right here. Nothing yet. I'm gonna let it idle for a bit and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've been idling for maybe 5 minutes now. There are no more oil leaks. Everything is looking good so far. Just some smoke from the residual PB blaster and whatnot. Alright, just added maybe a quart of oil. She was a bit low. Definitely up to temperature here, 190. sound so much. She sound good though. All right, we're just about ready to go. Got the essentials all packed up. The oil and the funnel and some paper towels, just in case. All right, let's get this show on the road. Taking it easy here. Staying out of boost for now. I'm just gonna get to the destination and then double check under the hood just to make sure that I'm not leaking any oil. I'm a little scared, to be honest, to get into boost. Woo, sounds good though, I gotta say that. We're gonna pull over right here and just take a quick peek under the hood. It appears it's just a normal smoking from the oil leak that I had last night. There isn't any more seepage coming out from the oil feed line, so I think we're in good shape. It just kind of looks a little scary because it's smoking. Well, I'm not quite sure where I left off. My GoPro ended up dying. I'm back and I'm gonna close out the video now. I wasn't really expecting much of a horsepower or performance gain from, you know, replacing my Uppipe. But I do notice the turbo may spool just a tad bit quicker just because there's no more exhaust leak coming from the Uppipe. Other than that, it's really just the same. My peak boost is at 15. Everything seems to be operating normally. So we'll do a couple little pulls just to hear some boost noises and have a little fun. Feels good to be driving the car again, I gotta say. It's definitely is a good feeling. So many good noises. Just anything boosted is so good. The intake along with the little, you know, the OEM bypass valve just doesn't take much to make you smile, I'll tell you that. So that was my experience installing an Uppipe. As you guys saw, it really was not too bad. Just have to be careful when you're raising the motor not to really tweak anything and just go really slow. But that was really the most difficult part, or nerve-wracking part, I would say. It's just lifting the motor up. It's kind of a scary thing to say, but it's really not that bad. Or if you don't want to go through the hassle of lifting up the motor, you just have to remove half of your exhaust manifold. So just be sure you have the right gaskets if you do so. I didn't want to go that route, so I chose to lift the motor. There was plenty of clearance to get the old Uppipe out and the new Uppipe in, and I think it worked out pretty well. The next thing I want to take care of on this car is going to be my oil cooler gasket, or gaskets. I believe there's about 4 of them that I need to replace, or I'm going to replace. I don't care if only one's leaking, I'm going to replace all of them since I'm already, you know, that far in. So that'll definitely be the next video. I already have all the gaskets ready to go. So I want to thank you guys for watching the video, coming along with me on the Uppipe install journey and finding out exhaust leaks and oil leaks and whatever else. Just being there, watching the video is cool with me. People look at you like, what the fuck? Wow, those cool noises are coming from that car? Or like, damn, that guy's obnoxious. I don't know, I really want to know what they're thinking. I mean, I really don't care what they think. It's interesting to think of what they're actually thinking about my car versus what I think they're thinking about my car. You know what I mean? Sounds so good, man. I do want to do a vacuum leak test on this car too. Make sure I'm getting all the boost that I can. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go, guys. Take it easy with that. Thanks for watching. Peace!